Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of the LiME podcast. We are up to episode 5 today, and today we're going to be talking about social media. My name is King David, and with me are my lovely fellow limers, and we have a special guest today, Nina, and Ephraim again is joining us as well. So I'm just going to throw it over to this side of me with Keisha to introduce herself, and then Nichi can go on, then Ephraim, then our special guest can introduce herself. So off to you, Keisha.
Thank you, King David. Hello and welcome everyone to episode 5. My name is Keisha, and today we are going to be discussing about social media. I'm not a lot into social media, but I still have a few things like WhatsApp, etc. Thank
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
Nietzsche. Over to you.
Hi everyone, I'm Nichi. Today we're talking about social media, and for the past 4 episodes, we've been touching on things like multiculturalism, technology, and introduction to us. And today we're doing social media. So yeah.
Ephraim.
Hey, it's good to be here as usual, Limans. Always a great honor. But for me today, I'm going to be learning a lot. So in case I'm not talking, know that I'm learning. But it's good to be here. Good to see you guys.
Yeah, that's so cool. That's cool. And Nita?
Hi everyone. I'm Neda, and somehow I like to pretend that I'm a social media guru. But amongst all of you guys, the young ones, I'm a bit scared to say I know social media because you guys are born with it, and that's all you know. But I'm very grateful to be here, to be part of this group. I am so honored and excited to be sitting with you guys, young people. It makes me look forward to the future. When I saw all of your episode, I'm excited and I'm looking forward to the brighter future for Australia and definitely for the world because it's a multicultural country and it's like a little country in Australia. The whole earth is in Australia. So I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, and great to have you on here, Nida. We're gonna be discussing amongst ourselves, and it's great to have expert in the field to say, really voicing their input on social media and how it's affecting our current society. So firstly, I'm gonna throw the question to the audience and to us as well. What is social media, and like what do we or how do we feel it's impacted us throughout our lives? Social media and how it impacted you and your life. Did you hear me, Nichi?
I think King David was
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you. You cut out for a bit, but we're good now. We're good now. Yeah.
What affected impacted your life, not impacted your life.
Okay,
Wait,
well, seeing
again?
as you can't cut out again. That's fine.
Oh wow. Okay, third time lucky. What is social media and how's it impacted your life?
Okay.
Bro.
So who go first?
I'm going to go first. I'm going to go first since I love social media.
Thanks, Nina.
Sorry. One thing I think it's the hardest thing. It understanding growing up in the 80s and 90s when there was none of those. It's very hard for me as an 80s person to come in and understand social media.
Yeah.
However, for me, it has changed my life for better. It has created a connection. I do believe in social media is a tool, and the tool can be used for bad and for good.
Yeah.
I look at it as it can be used for good, and I use it for good. And social media, the closest that thing I can talk about is the pandemic, which we're still in it. The whole world is in it. And social media it has created a community. It brought us together. There are some challenges, but I think it has the greatest impact for me. I connect with my friends. I connect with my clients on the other side of the world. And it has given me an opportunity and tool that I can connect with them. Then I can talk to them if there is an issue, if there's a challenge. We can, despite this pandemic and this social distancing that they're talking about, I like to call it physical distancing, social connection. So to me, it's been a great, to me, for someone who's way older, it's been so great. I love it.
That's so good. Sorry for the misunderstanding and the cut out earlier. But yeah, it's great to be back again and great to see all of you. But yeah, I'm going to pose that same question to Nietzsche as well. What do you understand about social media and how has it impacted your life?
Oh well, as the youngest one here, I can say that I've lived with social media for a lot of my life,
Yeah.
and for most of my life, and yeah, I use it for like the usual teenage stuff, like talking to friends, copying homework answers, things like that, and it's done a lot for my social life and also my school life. But don't tell my principal that. And also,
I'm not sure your teacher know, but okay. You can do
I'm gonna double you, Nietzsche. Come on.
Nah, please don't.
That's so good. That's so good. Yeah, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, no, she's correct. Like, for TAFE homeworks and TAFE assignments, a lot of my answers, like, oh no, like we're not meant to say this, but like, yeah, they were like from sharing and connecting with everything. But I'm gonna, Google has defined social media as websites and applications that enable users to create and share content or to participate in social networking. And just like Neda was saying earlier, it's basically a tool that we use to connect with each other. And I really love her analogies, like saying that it's not social distancing, it's physical distancing, but it's social connecting and social networking. And that is really phenomenal. And I won't say a fresh way of thinking of the pandemic and thinking of social media. And that drives me to my second question, which is basically already been answered. Moving on to our third question, but why do you think teenagers in our day and age spend so much time on social media? And I'm going to pass that question on to Keisha. I know she doesn't really use social media, so it would like to get her juxtaposition to the whole question because yeah, myself, Nichi, and Neda, like we've begun to use social media and really spent most of our time on social media. So Keisha, why do you think teenagers are in our age spend so much time on social media? And then after that, the floor is open for whoever else wants to jump in onto the question.
Thank you, King David. Yes, that is correct. I do not use a lot of social media. I like to keep myself a bit more limited to things like WhatsApp, StreamYard, as can be seen, keeps me a bit more safe. I feel that social media is a good thing because, as can be seen, I'm getting to chat with these amazing people over here. But, well, social media can also be a bad thing in a way. And that is the main reason why I tend to limit myself on how much I use social media. For instance, yes, I have WhatsApp, and yes, I've even got StreamYard. I've got a bit of Zoom, but I don't use things like Instagram or etc. because you never know what sometimes people can actually, there's this thing of pornography, and that's obviously a great aspect of it. So, in order to keep away from that, I don't use it as much, but I do understand that people tend to use it for taking out these interesting selfies and then they post it online, see how many likes and all they get, and all that sort of thing. It's used to communicate with friends, so that's amazing. I still use WhatsApp. I still use maybe Gmail. Isn't as in social media, but I still tend to use it, communicate with my friends from school, etc. And that's the good aspect of it. I just don't use it as much to avoid the bad aspect of it. Thanks, King
Mm.
David. Over to you.
No problem at all. Yeah, I really like that, and it's what many some of what Keisha talked about is going to be raised up later because I really have a question about it, and I really want us to address it. But same question to Nietzsche. Why do you think kids our age spend like a bulk amount of time on social media like they do?
Okay, so before I get into the question, I just like to ask, how can we mention something like social media without a bit of self plug? So everyone who's watching right now, I like you all to go check out Instagram, LiME Academy, and our Facebook, MPB Group 1. All the links are in the description. Go check them out after the podcast is ended. Or maybe right now. Who knows? Okay, so anyway, back to the question. So, sorry, what was the question again? Social media distracts me, my attention span isn't very much, Yeah.
Yeah, but the question is, why do you think kids our age spend so much time on social media?
Personally, I'd say I'm not especially attached. I'd say I maybe have a good 2 or 3 hours of screen time a day, mostly. 1 hour's doing this, and my other hours doing some downtime things. But for social media, I think it's an alternative. It's an easier way for people to connect. So you don't have to make plans every single time to try and meet up and talk. You can it's really efficient. It's an easy way to just talk to your friends. So I think that's why teenagers and like people like us are more attracted to social media. It's quick, it's simple. It doesn't require a lot of thinking. It's very simple to attain. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
And
sorry, King David, I'm going to protest here. You've not asked me. Am I so old school?
No, not yet. We're asking everybody. I just want to jump in. I just want to say something. But yeah, moving.
I think that's what they meant. So they just decided to.
Wow.
And if I wouldn't jump in, they probably wouldn't.
No, I didn't jump in. I said,
kidding.
It's good that I have
Kidding. This is how old they embarrass young.
Oh, it's okay, Ephraim. We even have someone in the comments saying Teresa Jacobson saying that they're attached to social media and they're part of the more mature age group demographic. So maybe you're not alone. Who knows?
Thank you, Nietzsche. I actually wanted to refer to Teresa to say that, Teresa, you're not alone. Hey, I'm here. I am. See, sometimes when I try to sort of scold my child for being too much on social media, I remind myself, hey, Ephraim, you used to stick to it so much as well. So the older folks are becoming quite attached, guys. It looks like we are competing with you guys for social media attention. I don't know for you neither, but I need some I don't know how to call it, rehabilitation from social media. What do you think?
I do agree that it is attachment. One thing that we have to understand is that our brain works every time there is a like. We're human, and all of the brain works exactly the same. Doesn't matter how old you are. So when you're posting something, we yearn connection. And these platforms created that connection. It has created a connection, especially in a multicultural country like Australia, which most of us have families on the other side. And the ones who are older generation who migrated to Australia, they've got friends on the other side. So it's created the connection. And that connection, sometimes it helps when we are feeling lonely. So, and every time we post something, there is a like, there is a comment, our body releases endorphins, and it's like a drug. It acts exactly like a drug. And for us to not understand it probably will create a problem. But if you become aware that this is actually happening, this is how your brain is doing it, the awareness is the first thing that's going to help you to go, no, I'm not going to do that. This is the reason that Facebook and Instagram, especially started with Instagram, they got rid of the likes. I don't know, Australia, Canada, and some other countries, they were the first test to get rid of the likes. So the number of likes disappeared because it was creating, Facebook understood that in order for this platform to be popular, they need to understand their users. And they understood the users, especially the younger generation and teenagers, they understood is actually affecting them because they were some sort of a peer pressure, that amount of likes they were getting. So they actually decided they're going to reduce the likes because it's affecting people. So it's all about connection. It's all about how you look at it. My life is social media, everything to do with social media. And believe me, sometimes I do have an argument with myself as to, I just checked, and I checked my clients, I checked myself. It's not going to be more likes. So you need to give yourself some routine, and that's very important. However, one thing is just, this is how our brain works, and understanding the awareness that how your brain working. And I've got to tell you something about when I was growing up in 80s. My connection with my friend, I remember when I used to be at school with them, and when I used to come home, we used to call each other, and we used to be on the phone all the time. So we're talking, moving around in the house, and that's how I connected with my friends when I was a teenager. So it's sort of a different thing that it is for you guys, which is different from an older generation, and maybe that creates a disconnect between the older generation and the new generation. But I can compare myself. I was on the phone with my friends all the time, even when we were studying, because that was a tool then for me to be connected to my friends. On occasion, I was on the phone all the time. Yeah.
That's really
So,
good.
yeah, so it's just a matter of awareness, how our brain works, and the moment the best thing for us to understand to have is the awareness that we're actually getting sucked into it. And you're not the only one. One video comes up, and this is how the social media wants you to stay there. Because remember, when one video comes up, as soon as it finishes, another video comes up. But now they actually give you a warning. They give you a warning, the next video will be starting. Instagram have a section that you can actually time yourself. I've got 5 minutes on my Instagram. If I'm in Instagram for 5 minutes, it pops up and let me know that I've been there and my 5 minutes is up. And then I close it. So it's just the awareness and the tools that you can use. But it's not a sickness. You're good.
It's clear that you're already getting into business here. So I better warn the youth.
Well, on the topic of Instagram, everyone in the comments right now should go follow the Instagram of LiME Academy. And I think Neda also touched on the topic of peer pressure. Well, I think all of us here are all following the LiME Academy on Instagram. So, peer pressure, you do it too.
Good work.
Thank you, Linda.
Okay. But yeah, I'm touching on what everyone has said. I feel like there is good parts and bad parts to social media. Like Keisha was saying earlier, pornography and everything on all that stuff. But then again, I'm about to get very debatable and very into this. So I'm sorry guys. I get very gassed and very vexed when I'm talking about things passionately. But to be honest, there's always an algorithm for every single social media platform. So depending on what you search up, depending on what you search up on your phone, depending on what you search up on Google, all that stuff is going to appear to you on social media. An example of this, earlier in the year on YouTube, I was watching it's kind of like a slow-mo guy type channel, but it's not the slow-mo guys. And later in the year, or a couple weeks later, on my Snapchat, the same account on YouTube was on my Snapchat. It's suggested it to me because I like their stuff and I was viewing it on YouTube. So depending on what you watch and depending on what you view, that's when things pop up. So addressing Kishi's mention of pornography and all that stuff. Yeah, if you're searching up all those things on your Google or all that stuff, yeah, it's definitely going to come through on Instagram and everything. But yeah, Snapchat, Instagram, all the social medias are really way of connecting. And the thing I feel like Lena suggested, said earlier, was that the disconnect between the older and the younger generation. The older generation, most of them don't really have anything to compare social media to. Neda compared it perfectly to her always being on the phone. For us, it's basically the same thing, and but because of the internet, we've really, I won't say progressed, but we've really just changed where we put our intention to. And when we get older as well, our kids probably not going to be using social media. They'll probably be using some classes or some other things like that, and we'll probably also be complaining hey, that phone, no, put it away and all that stuff. But yeah, that's basically it. And that leads me to my second question, which is, why do we mainly focus on the negative aspect of social media / the internet rather than the positive aspect? For example, I won't say personally, but I know a lot of parents that protect their kids from social media or from just the internet in general because they feel like it's not a safe place, it's not a good place. And they really focus mainly on the negative aspects. But as I said earlier, Neda said earlier, right now we are on social distancing, what it's called, but it shouldn't really be social distancing. It should be physical distancing, but social connection and social networking. So why do we focus mainly on the negative aspects than we focus on the positive aspects? Because if we do focus on the positive aspect, there's a lot of things that can really be done there, connecting with people on the other side of the world, starting up businesses online, starting up so many things online. So I'm going to throw that to Neda first. Why do you think we focus mainly on the negative aspect?
Um, Sometimes negative is because we're not aware of it. Maybe it's the reason, the lack of awareness, how this it works. Being a social media itself has created an issue, and this is what we obviously sell. This is what we buy. Majority of us sit in front of TV, and most of the programs that I see, it's all to do with violence. The news is actually grim, and everything is bad. It's because our brain, again, our brain needs to protect us, and our brain hasn't evolved. We still think we're in the caves and we have to worry about the tiger and everything else. So our brain connects to the negativity to make sure that we survive. And so to me is probably because we don't understand it, that why there is negativity, and there is always a negative and positive in everything. So us being humans, and the news will sell and media will do really well with negativity. It's actually put more spotlight on the negative side of things. But I do believe there is a positive thing about it. It creates a community. You can create a community. You can use it. With any marketing, they can be used for changing the world, and you can use this to change the world and to connect people. So I think lack of understanding, I'm going to say that again, and Ephraim can correct me, but I think it's the disconnect between the older generation and the new generation. So that disconnect creates a problem. I'm going to talk about Facebook. Even Facebook grows so rapidly and so quickly that they're still struggling to actually keep up with the demand. So they're learning as they're making mistakes. The privacy has changed, especially since 2016 with the election in US election. So they learned so much, and they understood the privacy part of it and how easily it can get manipulated. So those news stays around longer than all the groups that are, for example, in Facebook, that are making a difference and connecting us together. So probably because there's a lot of spotlights on the negative, and our brain works better with the negativity. And again, media loves it. So up to you.
I really dig that, because myself, I usually listen to 98.5 on the radio, but recently I have to like stop listening from 6 o'clock, because after that it's talking about the news. And even when dad's in the car with me, we always talk about it. Like everything you hear on the news is grim. Like you can't hear anything good. If it's anything good, it'll probably be for like 2 seconds. I'm just paraphrasing, it probably isn't for 2 seconds, but it'll be such a short time, and they move on to bad stuff here. Because like I won't say it's interesting, but we're that curious. Like yesterday I was out with some mates, some dodgy stuff was happening, and was like, oh, what's happening there, let's go see what's happening there. And yeah, we are drawn to the negativity or things that don't like I want to say that, oh yeah, that aren't too positive. I'm gonna ask that question also to Ephraim, because yeah, I want to get the perspective of the older generation so it can help us and also help the audience. Because yeah, I'm gonna say we get nagged, but we really get, I won't say full on, but really get it from the older generation. Like, hey, why are you guys always on social media? Why are you always on your phone? Why are you always on the internet? So why is it that way? Type thing. But yeah, Ephraim, up.
Yeah, thanks, King David. I think I would just want to take advantage of having someone like Nida with us, who is actually using social media for business and teaching people how to use social media for making money. So, King David and the other limers here, if only, not only, okay, I'll tell you, this is my mind. If I see more of the youth making money off social media, I would give my son 3 up-to-date mobile phones to make more money. But unfortunately, whenever you see what is being watched these days, it's almost amounting to time wasters. The question you want to ask is, okay, after watching that thing, after binging on that thing for 12 hours, what will you get out of it as a young person? So, King David, I think this is why this topic is very important. We need to create a balance. There is a place for entertainment, there is a place for just passing time, but that could be 1 hour. But I see a lot of people spending 5 hours on a stretch, 10 hours on a stretch. Look at the school holidays now. So I know later on we'll ask Nida to just share with us how more youth can use, because you guys have an advantage. You do it better than us. So you are more likely going to use it to make money than us. And I'm sure, I think Nida will correct me or not. So I wish, I'll be telling my children, please, I want to go into business partnership with you. They always say no. I wish they would say yes, because I see the potential, but rather youth are just using it to waste time rather than make money. Hey, I want the next Facebook owner to come from Lamas. I want the next whatever, whoever to come from here, guys. So let's get to work. That's my contribution.
Yeah, I really like that perspective from the older generation, and it's really insightful. And I feel like personally, yeah, again, the example that was given earlier about the phone call, it's really, yeah, the disconnect between both generations, and also there's a lot of inflow of information and not enough freedom to really express that inflow of information. Because for example, you can, yeah, go in Instagram, all the pages you follow, people follow like over 500 pages. That's 500 different sources of information that they get, and they don't have the time, they don't have the energy to display the output of information they have in 500 different ways. So I wouldn't say going on social media or watching Netflix or anything is a way to fill that, but it is. And also there's like a hunger that binging something or even spending time on Netflix watches, just because there's not enough of that outlet, or most of us feel if we do try and express our way the way that we think of, or the way that we feel like we should express it, we're going to get shut down. Instead of doing anything, I won't say not try, but like just, go on social media. At least you're not hurting anyone. You're just spending time there and doing all those things. But it is a lot of things to consider moving forward with everything. But yeah, same question. I'm gonna pass it on to Nichi, my fellow other two limers, starting with Keisha. Why do you think people focus mainly on the negatives of social media than the positives? Or yeah, yeah, rather than the positives.
Okay, so I just feel that I think, as Neda said, we have this kind of safety instinct, to actually protect ourselves. And the reason why they might be focusing on the negatives is that because if you go to look at it, if something positive happens, then it's good for you. But then if it's something like pornography, imagine that actually impacting on what job you can get. Or imagine like them saying you're partying out with your friends and you've gone for the job interview, and then the employer sees all of this. They won't actually give you the job now, will they? So that's why I feel that people tend to focus on the negatives more, only because they are having this protective instinct of them and thinking of the future of whether, will I get a job, and how is this going to impact maybe even my marriage life if needed, or any of the relationships, in fact. Thanks,
Yeah, okay.
King David. Over to you.
No problem. Yeah, no problem at all. Yeah, and I really understand that because yeah, a lot of the jobs they check all your social media presence and everything before they employ you. Yeah, last but not least, Lichi, why do you think people focus mainly on the negatives?
Okay, so well, for me personally, my parents are always saying things like, "Oh, get off the phone, go do something productive." Um, and my friends are always like, "Oh man, you don't have 500 followers, you don't got no clout," things like that. And it's always like there's always a peer pressure side to it, and I think peer pressure is a very big part of today's youth society in terms of social media, because like what you see on the internet, I found out a lot of people like to try and be like other people, instead of being our true selves, which is, LiME Academy. We're all about bringing out your true colors, your true self. So yeah, I feel like that's why some people dislike social media. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's really something. Yeah, we're gonna touch on as well. Why we try and dive differ from who we really are when it comes to social media, when it comes to being on the internet. But for me, I feel like why we focus mainly on the negativities of social media and the internet is because it's like uncharted territory. Like Nietzsche was saying earlier, his parents are always telling him to get off the phone, be productive. It's the same for myself, and it will be the same for those who are watching as well. Your parents are always like, "Nah, you're not doing all this. Like, go do this and all that stuff." Yeah, but like, yeah, we're in two different centuries, and there's a mad disconnect. Because I lost my train of thought. I was saying, yeah, it's uncharted
Mm,
territories because the
um,
parents, like most of them, don't really know how to use the technology of today. They don't know anything about the technology of today, and they feel like there's no way that I can protect my kids. There's no way I can protect my friends. There's no way I can protect my brothers, my sisters, if I don't know what's happening, if I don't understand what's happening. And yeah, it brings us to that trying to protect ourselves and our brain, focusing mainly on the negatives. If like I don't know about it, it's probably negative. It's not good. It's bad. For example, I'm that same way with music. If you say name an artist to me, and I'll be like, I haven't heard them instantly, I'll be like, oh, that music is probably bad. It's probably mind my language, doo doo. That's why, because like I haven't heard it. So I feel like it's the same kind of way. But yeah, moving forward, like each generation should be getting better, and we're trying to make sure that the younger kids and even the older kids that are older parents and older generation that are watching, we try and get to connect a bit more. But yeah, for you guys watching out there, why do you think we mainly focus on the negatives rather than the positive aspect of social media? And if or how could we change that story, and how could we change that perspective to make people focus mainly on the positives instead of the negatives? My second question, or my next question would be, what is clout? I would like to state firstly, I would like to talk about this. We had a fellow llama ask us what clout is. Clout is basically fake fame in a sense. Like, just to wrap it up, it's fake fame because like people do anything for clout, which is going to be my next question. What is the positives and negatives of having clout? But right now we're just discussing about clout. But clout is basically fake fame and trying to have something attached to your name. So, for example, I'm going to go into some social media stuff. For example, there's a lad named Jake Paul. He got engaged and married someone named Tana Mojo just so that they could, like, get some clout, get some followers, get something added to their name. But it was all for clout because it was fake. It was all manufactured. It wasn't real. And that's what basically clout is: fake fame, every manufactured fame, not real fame, nothing with substance to it. And so yeah, I'm just gonna open the floor to like my fellow linemen and everyone on the screen can discuss what clout is. So I'm going to go to Nichi first because I feel like he has something to say about this. So Nichi, what is clout to you? And yeah,
Well, clout means nothing to me because I don't have any. You, on the other hand, you have like 1,000 plus followers. I don't know what you're
yeah,
on about.
fake fame, bro. Fake fame, bro.
Fake fame, fake fame. Okay. I'm just saying, I don't have 1,000 followers.
Bet. What about you, Keith? Oh yeah. What do you like understanding clout now? What do you feel about it?
um, I think actually I obviously didn't know, and King David just told me. So I had actually I don't have a lot of social media, as I said, but I had actually seen this video of, I don't know if you guys have heard of Damani. He's an inspirational speaker. He makes like inspirational videos and all that sort of thing. And he had shown where this Instagrammer, and I'm obviously not an Instagram, but he'd shown this Instagrammer where she was flouting all this kind of jewelry and showing her like she has an amazing, perfect lifestyle. But then it actually turns out that she doesn't, and she was actually doing all this in the studio and borrowing other people's stuff, and she's taking out photos in front of like other people's cars or something. There was a similar video like that where the employee was taking it out of other people's cars, like his boss's car, and it wasn't even real. But the guy or the girl who was actually looking at these all thought that was real. And then I think the Instagram influencer got exposed, and the man who was there, his boss actually fired him because he was only supposed to be her secretary, but he had been taking out like photos from all over her office, and he just captioned on there like, "Oh, just got a new office," or "just got like a new ride, like a new car," and all that sort of thing. So now I understood what
Yeah.
clout actually is. But obviously, I'm not a lot on
Yeah.
social media. I don't even post a lot of things on WhatsApp actually. The majority of the things that I actually read or that I see is actually either number one, it's for my friends or from our church group that we have, like a youth group, or number two, it's a family who's posting it. And my family has got I've got like about two, three family groups that I'm in. And that's what they keep posting that right now, you know how COVID-19 is going on. So you know how it's like you could say nearly gone WA, but they've got like these strict measures up in India that, oh, you can only do this and don't get out for this and don't do this and don't do that. So all that hectic stuff about COVID-19, that's what's being posted at the moment, or some funny videos. But I don't generally tend to post a lot of stuff on there. I only tend to read other people's messages.
Yeah.
And obviously, if I do post something on there, it's probably going to be something nice. Like if I read a nice quote, or if I post it on our live podcast, like the
Yeah.
first episode, and I ask them to subscribe, that's the main thing. That's why I could say I have social media, but I'm not much into it because of
Yeah.
all the things that keep happening on there.
Yeah.
Thanks,
For a
David.
fact.
Over to you.
No problem at all. Yeah. Like Keisha was saying, was something that I was gonna go into, and that's really why I really appreciate and like the idea of all those the social media platforms, like the big ones like Instagram and Facebook, taking down their likes, because what people see and they feel like is getting more likes is like, oh yeah, I want to do that, and oh, I want to be like that person, and it creates a fake reality. Because yeah, we touched on it earlier, Instagram or social media is just like an easier outlet to do things. That's why you get so many trolls, because they feel like they have power, to do all these things, because no one can see who they are. They can just like write whatever they want, write whatever they want, and attack people unnecessarily because of other things, and people getting mom shamed, dad shamed, like all these other things. And it's gonna bring us to our next question: what are the positives and negatives of clout? I'm going to start first. There's no positive to clout, except if it is, I won't say clout, if it's actual hard work and everything that goes into it, but then it wouldn't be considered clout. It'll be considered something completely different, which is their hard work and perseverance. But the negative to clout is that it leads kids in the wrong direction, because they see things and then you're like, oh, you have to be this way, I have to be that way, I need to do all these things so I can get to to that million followers, to get all these jewelry, to get all these people to like me. But yeah, the 1,000 people that follow me, I barely even know up to half of them, bro. It's just people shouting me out and me gaining followers and me keeping my account private. So like, you have to like, if you want to go back to my account, you have to like it. You have to like follow me again. That's basically what I do. Half of them I don't even know. Like most of them, like the ones that I don't know, there's already started unfollowing me because I
Wow.
created a new account now. It's not clout affair. I like
Pass them
this
to
is
me, King David.
this is fame, not clout. This is fame, not clout. This is fame, not clout. I don't know what that's about. Man, I'm not gonna joke. But yeah, that's it's really bad thing, because yeah, people get driven to do so many things. But Nida, I'm gonna get your opinion on clout and just like fake fame and everything.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about, I don't know, I'm going to read about the meaning of the clout that I've from a dictionary. Well, my trusty friend Google. Influence or power, especially in politics or business, and I'm guessing with social media in a social
But
environment.
well,
It gives you the
before you
power
continue,
to
they should have put
influence.
fake influence and power.
Yeah. But again, I need to say that I totally agree with the likes. And I think when I do, so I don't know if I'm going to come in with the business side of it as well. When we're doing brand strategy and even growing, even in the biggest scale, if any business comes and says, oh, I've got 1 million followers or 500,000 followers or 200,000 followers, as a marketer, good marketers in today's world, we don't care about those followers because you can easily buy those followers. So those followers means nothing to a business, to a brand. If you want to be someone who is an influencer, who is influencing, is actually good. If you can make a difference in the world, there is nothing wrong to be influencing a life of people for better. So there's nothing wrong with it. However, we need to be very aware that these numbers means nothing. So they have to, because you can easily buy it. One thing I'm going to say is, obviously, for the young ones, or even the older one, this is obviously for the younger crowd, you guys are worthy and whole. You don't need to go through your life proving anything to anyone. When we get too attached to the likes, it's because we don't feel worthy that we think these likes makes us feel worthy. But absolutely, you are worthy regardless of this social media being there, having 1,000 followers or 1,000,000 followers. You guys are worthy, period. So when you understand that you're worthy,
On the gang, period. On the gang. Sorry.
Yeah.
oh hell yeah, I know some stuff.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So you guys are worthy. You don't need to worry about. Yeah, I'm gonna rap in a second. No.
Ooh.
I know. Middle Eastern woman rapping. That's gonna be great. I'm sure the teenagers wants to see this. No, they don't. So, as long as you guys realize, guys and girls, I'm sorry if I say guys, I mean you all, guys and girls, realize that you're worthy. So the reason that we go with the clout and it's created a problem for us is because we think the more likes we have, we're worthy. All I want you to know is you're worthy and you're enough, and those likes and those followers means nothing, but they mean something because you're making it, if you make a difference in their lives, if you make their lives better. So that's the only thing I can say. I know it's bad, even in business is bad. It is a serious issue. Even Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, they've actually, they want to make sure that your followers are true followers and they want to be with you and they're learning from you. You're creating a community. So they do track down. If you have too many followers and there's not a lot of interactions, they do know. So algorithm and AI in the background watching you. So it is a bad thing. But if you use that and they're true followers and you can influence that to make people's life better, why not?
Good one.
While we're on the topic of likes and things, everyone who's tuning in on the YouTube or the Facebook can go down below and click like on the video. That's right.
I'm going to go to Instagram now.
Click like and subscribe. All the links in the description below. Yeah.
Okay, so what was
Please
it?
subscribe to our channel.
Yeah, before
Don't forget to like and
We are
subscribe.
trying to add value to your life, guys.
Before King David takes over again, I just think what Nida just shared is awesome. And I know, King David, if you can, I would strongly advise you give maybe about 3 minutes later, because I know we'll soon be under pressure to knock off, for Nida to just share about how you guys can use social media to make money in 3 minutes. But before I go there, I just want to come back to what King David said earlier on, just my own contribution to the issue of cloud. I didn't know about that definition until today. The same definition that Nida has is the one I have. So, but I learned today that there's a different meaning of cloud. Now, I want to go back to what King David said earlier on so that we don't miss that point, especially for us, the older folks. King David did say that by the time we parents beat up on our youth, they have no other option than to go for this cloud. They have no other option than to begin to see social media as a place of acceptance. I mean, as a senior person on the platform today, I take that as one of my key lessons learned. the disconnect in homes? Is there something we can do more? We don't need to throw away social media, but we need to create a balance. I still don't think that 10 hours on that thing in a day, I don't know, King David, I'm sorry, I can't wrap my head around that. It will take a century to wrap my head around that. But I got something from the conversation today. I knew I was going to come here to learn, so I'm going to at least pick that up. Thank you, guys. But cloud, I learned something today about cloud. I think we need to write to dictionary.com to include it as part of the dictionary needed, so that we don't keep getting deceived.
Fake influence and power.
Yes, yes.
But yeah, I was gonna address that basically. I'm about to finish all my questions. So after that, Nita, you can have the floor. Tell us, because we're about to finish school. We need that money to start, start making moves. But yeah, that guap, bro. We need that guap instantly. But I'm basically my last question, like just me pouring out in a way, and I know you're not meant to pour out, but like just me trying to impact my knowledge of how we can bridge that gap, basically cloud. And it's really good because I feel like the generation coming after us really has has to like step on our shoulders to really evolve, because as you get older you learn that clouds, all these likes, they're not worth it, because you like in high school, but high school is basically a teaching of that. You start off in year 7 with like 10 billion friends. By year 12, the 10 billion friends are not two, even two, maybe not. And that's just basically what it is. We have to learn and we have to teach the younger generation that it's not all about that. But when I won't say when it gets too late, but when they do start focusing too many on the cloud, we have to be the ones to check up on ourselves, check up on our brothers and our sisters, check up on our friends, check up on our best mates, our soccer team, to see where you're at. Like, are you grounded or are you like high in the sky? Because yeah, go for your goals, chip for your goals, make sure you're putting the hard work in and not just trying to like slide by. Because yeah, there's an article that came out that's saying that Generation Z or our generation wouldn't be able to work in a behind the desk job, and like we'll just get fired on the first day. Like it's just phenomenal. So it just us like it's our duty to check up on each other. Hello, it cut again. No, it's back. It's our duty to check up on each other to make sure that we are keeping each other in line type thing. But yeah, don't fully just go and ham with someone like, oh, you have fake account, all that stuff, because like I won't say it's like sense of self-esteem. And like if you call someone up on it, like you probably damage their self-esteem. So just call them aside and be like, talk to them, hey bro, I know there's this about you, I know this is about that, all that stuff. That's what I can say for us. But for the older generation, I'm not really sure what I can say for anything. I just say it's a thing of patience and a thing of understanding, and just making sure that you're checking up on your kids, checking up on your friends as well that may be going through the same thing. That's basically what I can say. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not like I wish I knew everything, but I don't. But yeah, that's all I can really say. But yeah, right now, if anybody wants to share something, actually my last question: how can we use social media to be able to like change the narrative, or how can we change the narrative of social media being a place of escape or being a place where we just go to waste time and everything? What do you think we can do? I'll start with Lichi first. What do you think we can do to change the narrative about social media?
Okay, so obviously social media can definitely influence the way someone thinks. The information that we perceive can definitely influence the decisions that we make. So I think the best way to like change our future generation for the better is to just output positive content. All the mainstream media nowadays, you hate to see it, you hate to say it, but it's a lot of negativity. But we want our younger generation to grow up and be positive and bring more to the world. So I think the more positivity there is, the more chance that our future generations will also bring more positivity to the world. I'd like to pass this question over to Keisha. Keisha, your mic is muted.
I obviously don't use a lot of social media. Sorry about it, guys. But I feel the best way is to actually do it the way that we are doing using LiME. Whatever the best way is to use StreamYard and stream this on YouTube and that's what we are hoping, that with our message, millions of other youth can get inspired. So we can send positive messages like this. We can give knowledge to other people instead of actually, using all the things of the bad nudity and all the sort of thing that goes along with the bullying, cyberbullying. Instead of using it for that, we can give them inspirational messages, or instead of actually making fun of them on something, we could actually give them some advice on how to make it better. Thanks. Over to you, King David.
Yeah, and I feel like I would say it's our duty, but one at a time. We change the narrative and flip the script on social media so the old generation can get a better understanding of it, and so that the younger generation don't get caught into this fake out and all that stuff thinking. But yeah, right now, like I'm trying to learn how to make money. So Nita, how do you make money off of
Wow.
social media?
Okay. How to make money on social media? That's a hard question. That's a very hard question. However, social media has actually created a platform for you guys to use to showcase what your passion is. One of the biggest thing that I think the social media can help, not necessarily from a business point of view, is for you guys to build your brand. It's when the employees come these days, they actually stalk you. I call it social stalking. They come and stalk you to find out, what are you made of? Who are you? What you're doing? And you just have to make sure, first of all, you just have to make sure if you are on LinkedIn, your LinkedIn, I know that we think LinkedIn is what the employers are actually looking at, but they actually HR do come and look you up in your Instagram and in your Facebook. So these platforms are the best platform for you guys to build your brand as to who you are. If you're studying engineering, if you like copywriting, if you like video making, these platforms are the platforms that you can showcase your skills, that it's going to help employers to pick you. So because they get to know what you're doing. As for the making money part, I think that's probably going to get you to make money. But I don't know how to answer that, honestly. I don't know how you can make money. There's so many ways that you can use it to make money. I like to think that I can make you guys millions of money, but it's not just about the money. Money will always come. This is a platform that's giving you the opportunity to put yourself out there. There is people, YouTube, for example, or Facebook Watch, for example, is creating a platform for you to create what is actually what you're interested in. For example, if you're like, I don't know, mechanic, if you like putting stuff together, that's probably going to help you to do it. It requires hard work and it requires commitment. It's not a success, like some people's success takes 20 years. So the overnight success takes 20 years. So stay away from overnight gratification and look in the fact that you got to put the work in it. There is no there is no overnight success. You have to work. All the social media thing that you see, and I can guarantee you, like Gary Vaynerchuk, if I'm sure you guys might know Gary Vaynerchuk, all of these people have been doing it for 20 years to become so popular today. There is a work required in anything you do, and the money will come as long as you're providing value. You're making a difference in someone's life. You're providing value to them, whatever that value is. You could be a painter, you could be a carpenter, you could be a doctor, you could be a
podcast host.
You could be a podcast host. There you go. Or you could do anything, but we're actually creating creating an environment for you to use. Back then, I started my first business as an air conditioning business when, I don't know, you guys probably have, Ephraim probably be the only one who knows what Yellow Pages is. All we had was Yellow Pages. We didn't have anything else to advertise. So
I think I may have heard of that.
Oh, that's good.
I heard I may have seen, I've seen it somewhere.
That's cool.
But I did want to ask you one thing.
Sure.
With regards to making the money on social media, I had apparently heard from someone and even read it somewhere that if you get a certain amount of views on YouTube, and that is one of the things I actually tend to use quite often, if you get a certain amount of views on YouTube, you apparently get paid or something like that per view. Is that correct?
You do. You definitely do, but most of them that they do that, they create it's not an overnight success. It's a consistency work of putting good material out there. You put good videos out there, it's creating a following, it's creating a community. This is what I want you guys to remember. It's a community. Stay away from a word followers, because they're not sheep. They're humans. There's humans on the other side of this. So the moment you're creating a community, then yes, it will grow. But 100%, yes, it does that. Every time it changes, it's not a lot. The opportunity for people who are actually building these platforms and building these channels are bringing people who advertise on that platform. So that's the opportunity that you will get. All the advertising that gets done, I don't know if in YouTube you look at it, in advertising that gets done, it's because you are popular. Certain videos are popular and they have high volume of viewing because, again, it creates value. It provides value and it builds a community. So the advertisers wants to advertise to these people's community. So that's how you can make money, but it requires, again, work. Nothing happens overnight. I know that, unfortunately, it's work. We all have to work. We have to put the work into whatever we're doing. There are going to be times that you have to do 16 hours a day. You got to do study. This is normal, all right? When shit happens, excuse the French, this is normal. All the painful stuff are normal. All the crying yourself to sleep is
Linda,
normal.
you're chasing this youth away now. What?
So please understand, for any success, you have to put work into it. So
Thank you.
even social media is a great place to expand and to amplify your message, but work.
Work.
For a fact.
Yeah. Just want to be clear. Did I say work? Did I mention anything about work?
Yes.
Work. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Working. Yes. Let's say it again. Working. We have to work hard to get to what we want.
Nice.
Okay, any question about social media? I can talk about working if you want.
No. It's okay. It's calm. It's calm. It's okay. It's calm. No.
Linda, I don't think they will allow me to bring you back here again.
Bro.
What? I have to work? Yes, you have to work. You have to put in the work.
Thank you.
But thank you to the audience for joining us today. But before we go, like in the comments, drop the biggest clout chaser that you know in the comments right here. If somebody says my name, I'm actually going to get angry because I'm not a clout chaser. This is name, not clout. But thank you all for joining us. Thank you, Nita, for joining us. Thank you, Ephraim. Thank you, Nichi. Thank you, Keisha. Thank you for the audience joining us. Shout out to Jess Shantos. Shout out to Teresa. Shout out to Harmony. Shout out to King David. Shout out to Miriam. Shout out to everyone that's watching us right now, even though they're not commenting. We love you guys. Thank you for joining us. And also, I just realized my community is fake. As soon as I switched accounts, my community left me. Bro, community fake. But it doesn't matter.
Man.
Thank you all for joining us. See you guys next week. We're going to be talking about mental health next week, in light of it being Mental Health Week. So yeah, hope you guys join us. Love to see you then. Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks for listening to this amazing podcast by Youth for Youth.